I will speak to Brooke Spector on the latest developments on Trump's global tariff impositions. By the way, these tariffs exclude Russia for some reason, and one or two other countries. But for the most part, it's tariffs on 154 countries across the world, which seems to be implemented in a phased approach. Today, being Friday, the tariffs, tomorrow actually being Saturday, the tariffs will begin with a universal 10% on all U.S. imports seemingly across the world. This will escalate further to the various countries, 60 other countries by the 9th of April, and then trickle to its respective percentages that you saw on that really, really long list of tariffs that will be slapped on. Of course, we now know that the tariffs that Trump claims that those countries have placed on the U.S. are in fact not tariffs. They're a differential between the trade deficit and the imports and the percentage thereof, which is not a trade deficit. There's seemingly no real economic definition for that, but we'll get into the detail of that. Brooke Spector will be joining us to talk about whether or not this might potentially be reversed given how the markets have reacted. A bloodbath on stock exchanges across the world, particularly the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. It's all in red, quite literally all in red. We're going to be talking to Zboniso Duma, the MEC for Transport and Human Settlements in KZN, and this is after they had made the announcement that licensing officers across the province will no longer be accepting payments in cash. They'll only be accepting payments, I guess, electronically by EFT or by Speed Point. And this is because they have had a surge in cash in transit heists, and this is an attempt to mitigate that and subvert against that. And then we're going to be talking to Mervyn Abrams, who is with the Pietermaritzburg Economic Justice and Dignity Group organization, and they have, of course, raised their concerns around the VAT increase that had passed through in Parliament, which is now the subject, of course, of legal challenges by the Democratic Alliance that submitted its papers in court yesterday. I read through those papers. They very fascinating. I'll tell you about it a little bit later on in the second hour of the show. And then, of course, we're going to make sense of what the implication on that is. The Pietermaritzburg Economic Justice and Dignity Group, as you know, releases statistics on a regular basis about the impact of inflation on the food basket, and they track that data quite meticulously. And of course, the increase in VAT will certainly have an impact on household expenditure, and they certainly, no doubt, would be tracking those data points quite closely. And then do stick around for this in the second hour, because we're going to be talking about that Omotoso judgment that had come out, and we're going to be speaking to Tebogo Kas, the chairperson for Public Interest South Africa. There's been calls now for the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Shamila Batoye, to step down and tender her resignation immediately because of the handling of this case. It was handled poorly, gross negligence, it seems, on part of the prosecutors that led to that case. Minister Mamluku Kubai has also intervened. She has activated Section 33 of the National Prosecutions Act, which enables and empowers her to request for a report on the handling of a matter of public interest that needs to be tabled before her by the National Director of Public Prosecutions. And so you then heard that interview with Terence Minase, the spokesperson of the minister, in the previous hour here on SAFM, and they made sense of that. But we'll talk about the analysis and implications thereof. I want to hear from you. Is this something you believe should be the case? Do you think Advocate Shamila Batoye should step down, given that she potentially would not have been in the details of the case very specifically? She would have received, I'm assuming, reports on a cyclical basis on various cases, not just this case. And given that the National Prosecuting Authority does thousands of cases, it's not far-fetched that this particular case may not have been at the top of her priorities at the time. What are your considerations around that? Do you think that she should tender her resignation? I'd love to hear from you. Send me that WhatsApp voice note on 0614-104-107, 0614-104-107. You can also give me, sorry, I didn't complete that number, 0614-104-107. That's our WhatsApp line number. If you want to give us a call, it's 086 000 2032. And of course, you can send us to your tweets as well. Find me on Twitter. It is at Oliver_speaking and Oliver Dixon on Facebook. All of that and more coming up on the show. Looking forward to your engagements. Thank you so much for being a part of it all. It's 12 minutes after 6.
Get tested this April at Specsavers and we'll give you a free optical frame up to the value of 1,000 Rand. That's right, get a free frame up to the value of 1,000 Rand when you purchase a comprehensive eye examination at Specsavers. Book online at specsavers.co.za or visit your nearest store nationwide. Early detection is key. Get tested today. Specsavers, for affordable eye care and a whole lot more. T's and C's apply.
WAFCON reigning champions Banyana Banyana are back on the battlefield against the Scorchers, ramping up their preparations for the upcoming Women Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. This is the international friendly. Witness the African champs, South Africa versus Malawi, this Saturday 5 April at 2:30 p.m. Live streaming on SABC Plus, SABC2, SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4, and at 3 p.m. on SABC radio stations. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
Begin with Buco, and you can hit the road with a brand new trailer. We're giving away 94 trailers nationwide, fully loaded with home building and maintenance supplies to fuel your next project, road trip, or business venture. Spend 1,000 Rand or more in store at Buco. Fill in your entry form and drop it in our competition box. It could be you. Shop, enter, and win with Buco. T's and C's online.
Buco. You are listening to The Morning Brief.
14 minutes after 6 o'clock. This is the Morning Brief, and it's time for the In Brief here on the Morning Brief. Melissa Buta, producer here on the show, joins us now. Melissa, yesterday John Steenhuisen was in Parliament. It was a little bit awkward, right, given that there were questions lingering in the air about whether or not they're staying in the governing coalition or not. But nonetheless, he appeared in his capacity as the Minister of Agriculture doing a Q&A session, and he reflected on a myriad of issues. What was top of that?
Morning, Oliver. So the Agriculture Minister, John Steenhuisen, expressed concern about the impact of new tariffs imposed by Trump's administration, including a 30% reciprocal tariff on South African goods, and he suggested that AGOA may not be renewed beyond September. He did, however, assure that the department was looking for new markets in Asia and Europe for key exports.
Yeah, what's the fascinating part is that the Trump tariffs seemingly supersede what the AGOA agreement is. So at this point, for many African countries, including South Africa, AGOA doesn't quite exist anymore in many ways. And there's an AGOA summit coming up pretty soon that nation states who are beneficiaries of it will be meeting in the U.S. But it's unclear at this stage, I guess, what that means, if anyone's actually even going to rock up for that. Let's talk about the government considering the SRD grant being transformed into a job seekers grant, which I think originally was a DA idea.
Yes. So the finance minister yesterday, also at the National Assembly, revealed that the government, which would be a collaboration between the National Treasury and the Department of Labor and Employment, are considering, focusing the social relief grant more on job seekers, but they'll obviously see how that works, and this is a decision made amid the high rising unemployment rates in the country and also the broader economic challenges that South Africa is facing, because, it is quite alarming, so I think it is a wise decision to focus more on the unemployment and try to deal with that rather.
Yeah. The Premier was a no-show at the Judicial Services Commission. He couldn't make it, and this was a very important sitting.
Yes, so this was the long-awaited decision by the JSC regarding whether the suspended Gauteng High Court Judge Nana Makubela would face impeachment or return to work. This was postponed because constitutionally the Premier is expected to be there, and without him, they unfortunately could not go forward, and they are searching for a later date to make this decision or announce their decision rather.
And that big judgment that came out a week ago in the Johannesburg High Court regarding a backlog of 3,000 cancer patients waiting treatment is being appealed by the Health Department, it seems.
Yes, so the health department is requesting permission to appeal the decision that the Johannesburg High Court made with regards to the 3,000 patients that have been waiting for up to 3 years on a waiting list for treatment. The High Court has said that this is unlawful, it's unconstitutional, and they've ordered the Gauteng Health Department to immediately treat these patients. However, the health department is saying that, firstly, this was an urgent matter that was, heard. They may not have had enough time, and they're questioning that, is there really this list, the backlog list that people are alluding to? And they're also disputing the findings that they have planned. I mean, they had failed to plan, properly for the treatments and attending to the people who are on these lists.
Yeah. And lastly, what's a buzz on social media?
Social media today is excited. Ricky Rick's long-awaited album is finally out today, with one social media user, that boy, saying, tell a friend and tell a family member that Ricky Rick's new album is here. Today is #BoshZonke Forever Day.
Yeah, may his soul rest in peace, man. What an incredible artist Rick Rick was. Definitely looking forward to that. And shout out to his entire team, including his wife that spearheaded this project, making sure that we still are able to get some of Rick Rick's unreleased music now in an album. 18 minutes after 6.
This is Oliver Dixon on SAFM.
Let's take a look at your weather this morning. We start out with a yellow level 2 warning of severe thunderstorms leading to flooding of susceptible roads. And this will be expected over the northeastern parts of the Northern Cape, western parts of the Northwest Free State and the western parts of KwaZulu-Natal and the southeastern parts of Mpumalanga. A yellow level 1 warning for disruptive rain is expected over places in Jokabi district as well as Emalahleni and Thulasizwe local municipalities in the Eastern Cape. A yellow level 1 warning for damaging wind is expected over places between Canon Rocks and Coffee Bay, and that's to be expected, disrupting ports and harbour operations there, so do be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, in your advisories, you have to look out for this one. Hot to very hot and uncomfortable conditions are expected over the interior of Namakwa City. Namakwa and the city of Cape Town, the West Coast and the Cape Winelands districts, which started yesterday but will go on into the weekend until Sunday. In addition, there's heat wave conditions expected over Saldanha Bay, Swartland and part of the city of Cape Town municipality until Sunday as well. And a low pressure system could result in disruptive rain along the southeast coast between East London and Port Edward Saturday into Sunday over the weekend, so be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, in your indicators this morning, you can expect cloudy with isolated showers and thunder showers in Pretoria with a high of 21. Johannesburg will be similar with scattered showers and thunder showers, a high of 18. Cloudy with scattered showers and thunder showers, a high of 18. In Mbombela as well as in Polokwane. Mbombela will be reaching a high of, Vereniging rather, would be reaching a high of 18. Mbombela will be reaching a high of 20 in those conditions. Similar conditions in Polokwane with a high of 21, as well as in Mahikeng with a high of 19. That goes on into Vryburg with a high of 18, and Bloemfontein will be having the same conditions, also with a high of 18 there. Those conditions continue into Kimberley with a high of 22, Uppington as well with a high of 25 there. Otherwise, in Cape Town, you can expect partly cloudy weather with a high of 29. George will be reaching a high of 24, partly cloudy, becoming cloudy in the afternoon. You can expect a light to moderate northwesterly, becoming variable by the afternoon to southeasterly in the evening there in George. Gqeberha will be reaching a high of 24, partly cloudy, becoming cloudy with isolated showers and rain. You can also expect a light easterly, becoming moderate to fresh in the afternoon. In East London, you can expect a high of 24, partly cloudy, becoming cloudy with scattered showers and thunder showers there. A light to moderate northeasterly expected in East London, becoming fresh easterly in the afternoon. While in Durban, you can expect a high of 24, cloudy with scattered showers and rain. A moderate to fresh northerly to northeasterly, becoming strong in the afternoon expected there. Richards Bay, cloudy with isolated showers and rain. with a high of 24. Moderate to fresh northerly to northeasterly, becoming strong by the evening. And in Pietermaritzburg, you can expect a high of 20. Morning fog expected there, otherwise cloudy with scattered showers and thunder showers expected over there. That's your weather.
Get unbeatable football odds with SuperSport Bet. From derbies to title deciders, our Super Boosts give you boosted odds you won't find anywhere else. Switch today and get a 100% deposit match up to 5,000 Rand. SuperSport Bet is licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. Bookmaker license 101911097. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. National Responsible Gambling Program. Toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help 076 675 0710.
SV Werder Bremen are highly spirited to put their best foot forward to triumph. But Eintracht Frankfurt enjoy life in the top three, and they want to keep it like that. This is the Bundesliga. Football as it's meant to be. Experience the glittering encounter of German football. SV Werder Bremen versus Eintracht Frankfurt. This Saturday, 5 April at 6:30 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC Sport on TTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Worldview Update, bringing you closer to international or global news.
23 minutes after 6 o'clock, Worldview this morning focuses on the Trump tariffs that will take effect tomorrow. Will it take effect tomorrow? The Canadian tariffs were struck down in Senate. Mitch McConnell had cast the deciding vote over there. That means the tariffs that Trump wanted to place on Canada, seemingly the earlier very high tariffs, won't be going through as expected.